Hello, I am back with you today to do a beading tutorial for a pair of fan earrings, and I'm going to show you that in a few seconds. First of all, of course, I wanted to share some of my creations that I have for sale on my online studio with Swarovski crystals and then a Tibetan style bead, really pretty with inlaid crystals. And the necklace part of it is red candy jade. It's a really nice rich ruby red. And I thought complementing it with black, or contrasting it rather with black, and gorgeous Aurora Borealis Swarovski crystals. And I've got silver plated bead caps on some of the beads, on some of the larger these are not red candy jade, the larger ones. They're just a red glass bead. And it's graduated, so it goes larger down to the smaller red candy jade. And then the toggle clasp is a heart with an angel. And it's a matching set. And these are the earrings, with the red candy jade and a beautiful filigree style component here, and bringing in the Swarovski crystal down here. So there's that. And I have these really cool earrings. Oops. And these are a local artist here in the Blue Mountain area in Ontario. These are glass lampwork beads, and they have, as you can see, they're light blue and they have dark blue little drops of glass that the artist has done. They have copper excuse me, copper bead caps, and I've tied in the dark blue with dark blue Swarovski crystals here, and antique brass wires. And then this really cool, this almost makes me think of one of those, what are they called? Fighting stars or whatever the ninjas have. Anyways, that's what it kind of reminds me of, but that's that pair of earrings. And let's see what else. Okay, so I started doing leather bracelets. Whoops, sorry about that. And this is one of them. It's a triple strand braided one, and it has a magnetic clasp, and then it's got the silver infinity symbol there. So there's that leather one. And this one has a real Celtic feel to it. It's got a Celtic style heart dangling from, and this leather's really, really soft. You can see on the back, and I have hand riveted this, and then we have just a slider type clasp on the end here with a lobster clasp, so it just goes into the hole there, and then you've got a nice dangle. This, when it's worn, the heart dangles really nicely on the top of your hand here, so if you're into that kind of look, which I am, you will like that. And another leather bracelet. I'm getting into making men's bracelets too, which is really fun. Kind of a little intimidating at first when you do something new, but really fun. So there's the bracelet that I've done, and this has a sterling silver hand hammered pinch bail type of thing here. I don't think it's called a bail, but whatever. And I'm so technical, and you'll find that with my videos that, okay, it's not all about the technical, but I definitely know what I'm doing. And that's the important thing. Okay, so, and a sterling silver magnetic clasp, and it's really, really strong. So when you have it on, it's gonna hold. And then I've taken some agates right here, and this is a sterling silver bead, and so are these ones here. These ones are just silver plated, and then I've hand wire wrapped them and then riveted them to the bracelet. So it's a bit of a different feel for me to be able to do men's jewelry as well. Well, we have to include the men too. All right, so there's that. And then one last thing is this necklace that I've hand beaded. The pendant itself, this part right here, was made by a girl on Artfire. Well, she's a woman, but anyways. And her site, if you want to visit it, is Crafts of the Past at Artfire. But she made this polyceramic, I guess. I just thought it was pretty. And so anyways, I bought this plane and I thought, hey, I think I'm going to hand bead something around it, which I did, and then lined the back with ultra suede, which is so soft. And then I crocheted this beaded the necklace part. And then I've just got a nice antique copper toggle clasp on it, which I find so easy to do up, these toggle clasps. Yeah, so anyways, I tried to bring in the colors from the pendant into the necklace, and I think it worked very well. All right, so this is the project that we're going to be doing today. It's a fan earring, and it's made up of different little fans that we create. There's 9 to each earring, so we do 18 of these pieces. And the way it's connected is with a net stitch diamond shaped pattern on the back. And of course, I'll show you all the different steps, but just to kind of break it down, we have a silver ear wire thread protector, and the silver ear wire that I was talking about is a silver filled ear wire actually. And then at the bottom of each one are little 3mm crystals, and you can see with mine I have blue ones, and I also have ones that they call black diamond color. All right, so that's what I've chosen. Of course, you can choose whatever colors you love. And we need a thread zapper. I mean, you don't need a thread zapper, but it is really handy because it gets very hot. This end gets very hot and just, melts away the thread when you want to, and you can get right in against the beads. It's really nice. And I think that is all for that part. And okay, so this is what we're using here. We have 15, sorry, these are the 15. We have size 15-0 seed beads. We have size 11-0 delica beads. Now that is what is going to comprise these pieces here. And then of course the crystal. And then for the net stitching, we have 11-0 round beads. You're going to need some Fireline. This is not Fireline, but something like Fireline or Fireline is great. I'm using 8-pound, but you can use 6-pound if you like. I am using 8-pound because I had a 8-pound. Okay, so that's that. And of course, a needle, about a size 12 would be great because we have to pass through the beads a few times. So, okay, so go ahead and thread your needle with your Fireline or whatever you choose to use, and we're going to get started. Okay, so I'm going to be picking up 3 of the delica beads. Okay, so we've got 3 on the needle. We're going to drop them down the thread, and we're going to leave about a 6-inch tail. And you're going to want to hang on to the tail especially when you're starting, because it gets really, it's so tiny at that point. We're going to take the needle, and we've brought the 3 seed beads down this far, the delicas. We're going to go up through the 3 seed beads, the delicas, through the 3 of them, and we're going in the opposite way of the tail. Okay, so, and then we pull it through, and what that's going to do is bring them together and create sort of a loop without it being a perfect circle. But and then you want to make a knot, tie it about 3 times if you like. I would not tie it any more than that because the knot can get in the way when you have to come back through those seed beads. Okay, through the delicas. So 3 times. Okay, so we've tied our knot, and I'm going to try to position the tail thread at the bottom. Okay, so it's, you know, as close to the bottom as you can, just because it makes it easier to hang on to. So this is what you should have, the 2 on either side and the 1 on the bottom. So we're going to place our nail and hang on to that one just because it wants to pop around if you don't. We're going to take our needle and put it up through the delica seed bead and pulling straight out, trying not to drag the thread because it can actually start to take the coating off of the thread. Okay, and we're going to pick up 2 more of the delica seed beads. And we're going to come down the opposite side. So your thread's coming out of this one. We're coming down the opposite side into the left hand seed bead. So from the right to the left. And we're placing 2 of the delicas right on top of each other like that. Then we're going to come back around to the right one, and we're going to come up through the seed bead. And okay, my knot was already giving me a problem. I only tied it 3 times, so this is why I said, and we're coming up through the second one. So I'll show you what we have once I get the thread all the way through. Okay, and we're using about 3 arms length worth of thread. I don't think I said that. So, okay, so now you've got this. Now I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, let them drop down onto your thread, and now we're going to go through the very same one that we just went through. So here's the thread is coming out of this bead. We're actually going to go right back down through, just through that one and the one below it. And we're going to hold on. There we go. And I'm just going to give it a little flick so that the 2 seed beads are sitting parallel like that. Okay? Then we're going to come back up through, and we're just going to do this for this row, but back up through those 2 right there because we want to get into place to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so hang on to the bottom bead, pick up 2 seed beads, 2 delicas, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go back down through that same one, but you're only going down through 1 this time. Okay, so there we go, and I'm going to just, there we go, straighten them out. Now it doesn't matter that they look a little wonky right now because they'll go into place. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so here's the bit of a tricky part, but I'm sure you're going to be able to do it. This thread here, what we want to do is take our needle and put it between the 2 seed beads right here. So in between the one that the thread's coming out of and the one beside it. So put it through there, pull it through, because basically what we're doing is we're wrapping the thread around the thread that's running up through here. Okay, so we're securing it because we need to put our needle back up through and out. This way it stops it from, you know, just undoing what we just did. So we're going to flip it, and I'm just flipping it at this point. As we get further up, you know, we'll be doing something different. But I don't even actually need to tell you that yet. Okay, so we've gone around. Now we're going to go back up through this seed, this delicate bead. Okay, so we're going back up through, and we're going to go up through the outside seed bead of those two. Of the two on the right hand side, we're going up through that delicate bead and the one that's farthest on the right. So there we go. Excuse me. Okay, so there, that's what it should look like now. Okay, like that. So I'm going to pick up two more delicate beads, and we're going to be coming through, going back down through the one that's beside this. So back down through and give it a snug, and there we go, we've got that on there. Now I'm going to be picking up a 15. Oh, so these tiny, tiny little white ones here. And we're going to do the same thing, let it drop down, and we're going to go up through the left hand pair now. So the closest to the center, we're going to go up through, and what we're doing is we're placing that 15 in between those two sets. Okay? And picking up two more of the 11-0 seed beads, the 11-0 delicas, and we're going to go down through the outside delica, just the one, and pulling it so that this is what we have now. Okay, again, we're going to go through the two in between the two seed beads there, and we're going to turn it so that it's now facing on the right hand side, and we're going to go up through the delica and the next one, so these two, and we're going to give it a pull and snug it up. So now we're ready for the next row. We're in position. So pick up two more delica beads, go through the second one. There we go. Straighten them out so they sit right, like that. And then we're picking up another 15, so another one of the tiny, tiny ones, and we're going to do the same thing we just did before, where we come out. There's the two to the left. We're going to go up and through, and then we're picking up two more delicas, and we're going to go down just the one delica, and I find, okay, see how those are laying? If you want them to lay straight, sometimes just sticking your nail in there will pop them right into place like that. Okay, again, sliding the needle through the two seed beads there, and we're going to turn it again just to make it easy to see what we're doing. And I'm going to go up through those two seed beads, the two outer seed beads, and there we go. So now we have that shape, plus we have the two, we've set in the two 15s. Okay, now I'm going to pick up two more delicas, excuse me, go down through the next one, oh, those ones popped in pretty good, And we're going to pick up 2 of the 15. Okay, so we've got 2 of the 15 there. And drop them down and do the same thing where we go across to the next delica and cinch that in. So now you see what we have there. Okay, and picking up 2 more delicas, go down through the outer edge. I chose to do this video because I don't know about you guys, but I find that if I can watch somebody do it, or like this, I read from a pattern, and it really takes me a lot longer to do something if I have to read it from a pattern rather than look at a diagram or even a photo. I can duplicate things, but reading a pattern, oh my goodness, it can be so confusing. Okay, so I thought, well, if I do this video, maybe it'll help you guys. Now, the needles goes between the 2 beads again. And we're going to turn it again, just so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to go up through those 2 delicas again. Excuse me. My throat is not cooperating right now. Okay, and 2 more delicas. And again, going down through the one beside it, beside the one you just came out of. Okay, now this time we're going to put our needle through the first 15, first size 15 seed bead, and get all ready to put a couple of delicas in there. Okay, and so now I'm going to pick up 2 delicas, let them drop, and down through the next. So we're placing these in the center of these 2 15s. So I'm coming out of the other 15, and at this point you will see excuse me, you will see that the delicas will kind of sit askew, which is totally fine because they'll straighten themselves out in the next step. So again, we're coming to the outside 2 delica beads, and we're coming up through, and we're going to pick up 2 more delicas and let them drop. Go down through just the one, give it a snug, and put your needle through in between those 2 seed beads again, the 2 delicas. And go ahead and turn again and put the needle up through the 2 outside delicas. So this is what you've got now. And of course, this is widening the piece to make it look like the fan, right? So we're picking up 2 and doing the same, going through the outside there. Okay. And then we're going to go up through the middle delica here. And and put 2 more delicas. So we're going to go through, down through the one beside it. And this is where it pulls the whole thing into the way, you know, straightens it out. Okay, so then here we go up through the outside 2 again. Excuse me, to stack 2 more delicas. So I'm picking up 2 more delicas and letting them drop, going down through that outside delica bead. pulling them, giving them a nice little snug pull. So this is what you've got so far. This is what it looks like. Okay. And again, putting your needle through in between the beads. Turn the piece. And up through the two outside ones, getting into place for the next row. Okay. And the next row is going to be 2 delicas and down through the next. Seems so much easier when someone else is showing you how to do it, I swear. Just trying to get those to sit. There we go. Okay, and we're going to pick up 15. And we're going to go up through the next delica in the center. And we're going to pick up 2 more delicas. And go through the second middle one. Okay. And again, I'm going to straighten that a bit. There we go. So that's what we have. And now we're going to pick up another white 15-0. And we're going to go up through the last 2 set on the left. So we're going to pull that into place. And we're going to pick up 2 more delicas. And go through just 1 outside delica. Again, through the center between the 2 seed beads. Going to pull it. And again, turn your work and come up through the last 2 there. Okay, so now we are going to pick up 2 more delica beads and go through the second delica bead. Pull them into place. And then we're going to pick up 2 of the size 15 beads. There we go. Sorry, I had to move that down a little more. And okay, so 2 more. Going up through that center delica. And picking up 2 more of the delicas down through the second delica bead there in that pairing of 2. And again, fixing that so it lays. There we go. And picking up 2 of the size 15s. Dropping it down. And going up through the second to last one of the row here of the delicas. Oh, there we go. And 2 more delicas. Down through. Once again, placing the needle between the two beads, like we've been doing all along. I keep catching my darn oh no, I thought I caught my tail thread through there, but I didn't. I actually, there. Be prepared for some snags. Sometimes they happen. Okay, and it already turned around as I was doing that, so remember, we're going to flip it back around and then put the needle up through both side beads there. And 2 more delicate beads. And we're going to, no, we're not. We're going to go through the next 15 seed bead, and these can be a little tricky because they're so tiny. Sometimes you have to kind of pop them up with your nail a bit just to be able to get it through the hole. But you can see, hopefully I'm not too close because it seems to want to blur when I get too close. So we don't want that. There we go. Now we've got it popped up. I can get it through. There we go. So I'm going through, I'll let it focus here, going through the 15O seed bead. And now we're going to pick up 2 delicas, let them drop down, and we're going to go through the second delicate bead, or second 15. Okay, and again here, you know, they're not going to sit absolutely perfectly until we get up to the next row. So now we're going to, I'm trying to get this out of the way so you can see the center beads here. There we go. All right, so now we're going to go up through the center pairing of 2 on the right hand side. There we are. And pick up 2 more delicas. There we go. Let them drop down, go through the second one. Pull it in snug. And we're going to go through the second set of 15O seed beads and through the first one, because we're going to place 2 of the delica seed beads in between. So in other words, we're picking up 2 more delicas, letting them drop down, going through the second 15, size 15O. There we go. Give it a little tweak there. And now we're going through the last set of 2 delicas on the edge here. Sometimes it's good just to keep your fingers up near the top here. So I'm going to cover it, but I'm holding on to it and pulling. That way it's not going to get tangled around beads and all that kind of stuff that it likes to do when you're not holding on to it. Okay, and 2 more of the delicas down through the final delicate bead on the end of the row here. Let those drop into place. Once again, putting our needle through in between the two beads so that we can turn the work around and bring the needle up through the two delicas on the edge here. So we're up to this point. And now we are going to put a size 15, one size 15 in between the two delicate beads here. Okay, so we're going down, pulling, so like that. Okay, and then we're gonna go up through the next delica. Give it a little tug, and you see it will just spin right around and sit where it's supposed to. And we're going to pick up two delicas and right down through the next one that's right beside it. Okay, up through the next delica. And pick up two. And down through the next. Up through the next. And pick up two delicas. And down through the next. Oops, sorry, went out of shot there. Down through the next one. There we go. And then we're going to go up through this one, this last set of two. And we're going to take another size 15 and put it in between like we did on the other end of the row. Okay. Now we're going to actually this time, yeah, we are. We're going to go through the two in between the two beads again. Turn it like we've been doing. Now we're going to go up through the delica and the 15 because we're working our way over to this section. So we're going to go up through there and then down through the next one. We're not picking up any beads this time. And we're going to go up through the next. We're picking up two delicas and putting them down through like we've been doing. And going up through the next delica. Picking up two and down through the next. Oop. There we are. Up through the next. And pick up two and down through the next. Now, we're stopping there and we're putting our needle in between the two delicas as we've been doing. And we're going to turn and we're going to get ready for the next row by going up through these two. Oops, sorry. Going up through these two. So this is what it should look like. And I just caught my tail. There we go. Okay, so that right there is what we have so far. Okay, so now we are actually going to be adding on the crystal. First of all, we're going to pick up a 15, I got 2 there, size 15 seed bead, and add it onto this part. So we're going to go down through our delica, okay, so we've got it up in there. Then we're going to go up through the next delica, and we're going to add our crystal. And then we're going to go down through the next delica and up through the next one. And we're going to pick up a size 15 seed bead. And we're going to go down through the next delica. So that's what we've got so far. That's what it should look like so far. Okay, now we're going to continue on and go, okay, I'm going to hold it this way. We're going to go down through the next delica. So I'm working my way back over to this edge, here. Then we're going to go up through this delica and through the 15. Okay, we want to give it a snug pull every time. Then we're going to go down through the next one, the next delica. And you'll see why we're doing this rerouting in a second here. Okay, so there. Now we're going to go between the 2 beads here, right underneath the 15, size 15, and pull it. And I thought it was caught around there. How in the heck did I get through that one? I went through the wrong one. Okay, sorry. I took my eye off the ball there for a second. Okay, so in between the 2 seed beads right there. Not the other ones that I just showed you. There we go. Now we're going to turn it. And we're going to go up through this delica and the 15. Okay. So that will bring us right out to there, to the edge. Now we're going to pick up another 15. You can see why reading the pattern could be really confusing because it's a very intricate pattern. Going up through the delica and that next 15. And now we're picking up a delica. And I'm going to go right through the crystal. And another delica, and this time I'm going through the other, let me put my hand behind it, right there, the other 15. Now we need to go down through the next delica, just the one, oops, sorry. Hit the camera. And we're going to pick up one more size 15. we're going to put it through the other 15. There. And there's the fan shape. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our needle and go up through the edge beads here. So the delicas that are on the edge, and bring it through however many you like. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it off and secure it. So I'm going to take my needle and go up under the thread there. Sorry, got it out of shot there. And I'm going to go through the loop twice so that it actually makes a nice little knot. And pull it. Then take it through the rest of the beads. Through the end. And up the other side and tie it off. You can tie it off, or you've already got it tied off on this side. So, and I found with these that sometimes the knot will prevent you from going up through it again because it's already tight, and believe me, you do not want to force it because you can break these beads because they're made out of glass. So right here, I think that's enough. I've already tied it off. I've put it through some other beads. Excuse me. And now, just make sure I've got the right thread here. Yeah. Now I'm going to use my, excuse me, use my thread zapper and just zap the thread off there. There we go, nice and clean. And then I've got my little tail there. Okay, so the next part, we are going to be making the net stitch grid, or whatever you want to call it, that we are going to be attaching all these pieces to. Now remember, we need 18 of these all together. Yeah, it's quite a project. But I really, really like the way that it turned out. Okay. So here we are on to our next step, and that is creating the net stitch to attach our little pieces to. So what we're going to do is we're going to string about 36 inches onto a beading needle. And then we're going to pick up our first bead, which is the 11/0 round beads. That's what all of this is going to be created with. So we're picking up our first bead, and we're going to leave about a 6-inch tail. What I'm making is a stop bead. So I'm going to be taking my needle, putting it up through the bottom of the bead, through the bottom of the bead, going away from my tail. And you'll see what this does. You see how it makes a loop and then just sort of ties that bead into place. That way your other beads won't go sliding off the end. Okay, so we're going to be picking up, including this bead here, we're picking up 20, or we're going to have a total of 24. So we're picking up 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. Okay, and it's always a good idea after you've picked up a number of beads like that to maybe go ahead and recount them just to make sure you've got the right amount. So 8, 10. See, I think I'm short 1, 2, 6, I am. I'm a short one. And you'd rather find out now than halfway through it and you've got to rip the whole thing out again. So this is the base stitch for the netting. Now I'm going to pick up 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let them come down. Meet the rest. Now we're going to be starting, that's actually the start of the next row. And so we're going to take the 2, 4, 5. We're going to separate that so that, because we need to count over 5 from our base row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're coming up through the 6th bead. Okay, so I'm coming up through the 6th bead. And if you hang on to it, it'll keep it where it's supposed to be. Okay, so we're going to pick up 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to be coming through the next 6th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into the 6th bead. Hang on to them, give it a pull, and let them get into place. 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And counting over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th bead again. And the last ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And counting over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to go right up into the 6th, which is the stop bead. Okay, and give it a pull, and that's what you should have, 4 loops. Now we're going to be doing the next row, so you might want to turn it around, it might make it a little easier. And we're going to be skipping the stop bead. So we're not going to put our thread through, or our needle through the stop bead. We're going to be going up through the next 3 beads and coming through. Like that. Then we're picking up 5. And we're going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and going in through the next. So basically what you're doing is you're going through the center bead of each one of these loops. So the center bead is actually, in this case, the 3rd bead over in the loop. But if you find it easier, just count the way that I just did, the 5 over. So we're going to pick up 5, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I could just kind of skip over, which I would do, you know, but for teaching purposes, skip over and go through the center one, which I can see right away. But for teaching and beginners, let's do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in through the 6th bead. Okay, and I'm hanging on to it because it's pretty small at this point. So there's what we have so far. Again, pick up 5. 1, 2, 3. Oop, that one wanted to bounce. 4, 5. And once again, let's count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up through the 6th. And that's what we have. Pulling it a little tighter. That's what we have at this point. Okay, so I'm going to flip it around again, because now we're going to be going up through the next. Again, so we're going to skip over this bead here that the thread is coming out of, and we're going to come up through the first 3. Okay, and pull that, and you can see how it's going into place there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again counting over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 6th. Sometimes you have to put your fingernail up to pop it up so you can get it. There we go. Okay, and again pick up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and counting over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. And this is what we have now. So again, turn it around, and ignoring the bead that the thread is coming out of, we're going to go over top and count out, or not count out, but go through the first 3. Again, keep your fingers on it. Oh, I've caught my tail thread there. That's no problem. Okay, and there's that. There's what we have so far. And 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to count over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Into the 6th. Up and through. And that is our last one for that. Now we're going to be putting on the thread protector. So what we're going to do is do the same thing that we've been doing, turn it around, and you're coming out of this bead right there. So I'm going to go up and over and in through the 3 beads, the same as we have been doing. Okay, and I'm getting ready to come up out of this top one to put our thread protector on. So this is our thread protector. Let me just get it. That's what they look like, kind of like a horseshoe. And so I'm going to take my needle and thread it through the thread protector. Okay, it has a little hole on both sides that you can put your needle through, letting it go right down to the top of that, the top point that we have there where the thread's coming out. I'm going to go down through the other side of the thread protector, making sure that the thread stays in that little groove at the top. You don't want it to pop out or whatever, right? Obviously, because then it wouldn't be doing its job. And then we're going to go in through the opposite side of the bead, the opposite side that we started on, and pull it up through. We're going to go around one more time, putting our needle into the thread protector. Whoops, wanted to pull up there. There we go, wanted to be stubborn. And pull our thread right through, and again, the same thing we just did. We're going to come down and through thread protector and give it a little pull. This one wants to be stubborn, so I'm going to just use my flat nose pliers and pull it through. Okay, and again, making sure that thread lays in that little groove there of the thread protector. And then we're going to go through it again, through the, sorry, not through it again, should be a little more specific, through the bead, the top bead again, and pull that on through. and tighten it up. And you can do a half hitch knot here would be great. So we're going to come around the thread there and do a half hitch knot. Just to snug it in there and secure it. And then we're going to go all the way down through the beads on the side of your unit you just made here. So pull it on down because we're going to set it up to go do the other side of the diamond shape. So once again, going through all of the seed beads along the side. And we're going to be coming out okay, so there's our tail thread right there. And I'm going to go through one more bead. And we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side to create the net stitching. So we're down here now, we're back up here, or whatever way you want to say it, to the 4. Okay, and I'm going to go up through the first 3 beads. And you can see how it's looking more like little triangles. Pick up 5. Count over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. And I hold my tail thread with my other finger. It keeps wanting to get into the mix. And again, picking up 5. Counting over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. Turn your piece, skipping the bead that your thread is coming out of. 1, 2, 3, go up through 3. Oops. There we are. And again, hang on to your piece. I'm getting caught around my pliers, which I'm going to get out of the way because I don't know about you, but when I'm beading, I catch around everything that's around. So I have to clear the whole area pretty much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, picking up 5, counting over the 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. Hang on to your piece of work. Give it a good snug pull too, because you want this to be fairly snug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Counting over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. There we are. And that's what you've got so far. And then turn. And again, we're going around the bead that the thread is coming out of, so, or over top of, whatever way you want to look at it. So we're going up through the 3 there. And again, giving it a nice little tug and picking up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And counting 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. Okay. And our last one, we go around and go up through the next 3. Give it a nice little pull. And that is our net stitching that we are going to be attaching our, and I'm going to put a half hitch knot right here, our pieces to. Okay. Now, our center, I've got it, what I do is I like to kind of lay it out as to how you want it to be. And then that way you don't have to, you know, put one on and think, oh no, I didn't want it in that spot. So lay it out in the pattern that you would like, unless you're using all the same color crystals, and then it doesn't matter at all. Okay, so turn it around. And see, I've got the other one different, so I'm going to change that around. And that's exactly what I was talking about. There we go. Okay, so we're coming out of the bottom where we just came out of here, and we're going to, so that'll be the middle, right? Because we're putting it on the diamond shape. And so the very center bottom that we just came out of is going to be the center bottom of the earring. And so obviously there's 5 on the bottom, 5 of our pieces that we made. So we're taking the one that you want to be the center bottom, we're taking it and we're going to go through the top bead on it. I'm going to hold it a little closer. Okay, so we're going through the top bead on it, and we're going to, the thread is coming out of the one side. What we want to do is loop around and put your thread in through the other side and pull, and that way it attaches it. And I like to loop it around twice. So we're going to go through that top delicate bead, hang on to it. Oh, sorry about that, my camera just fell. Hang on to your piece so that you can keep it steady, unlike me with the camera when I just knocked it over. So there we go. We've got that piece in. So there, now we've got our first piece of the bottom of the earring. And the next placing is we're counting 5 beads up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into the 6th hole, into the 6th bead is going to be where we're going to come out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're coming up and out of that 6th bead. There we go. So up and out of the 6th bead. And we're going to pick up the one that we want next to the middle bottom piece. So I'm going to just pick it up. And we're going to do the same thing, put our needle through the top delicate bead there. Let it drop down, and you're going to come back around and go through the opposite side of the seed bead, locking it into place. There we are. And again, like I said, when I'm beading, I get the thread around every single thing that you could possibly imagine. Okay, and again, we're going to go through it as many times as you like, as many times as you're able to, but at least twice, following the same path around. There, now we've got 2 of the pieces. Now, the next piece is going to be the same, going through 5 and coming out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will bring us to there. And we're going to go through this bead, the 6th. And pick pick up our outer corner one. So again, going through the top delicate bead, let it drop down into place and back up and through that edge bead again, that corner bead that we just came through. And again, it wants to be tricky, so I'm going to need the use of my pliers again, and up and through. Like that. And I'm going to do it twice, and hopefully that one bead will let me do it because it wanted to be a little stubborn the last time. And again, we'll just use the pliers and pull it through. You got to be careful with these beads too. If you do that too much, like if it's really, really tight and you try to pull it through, you can break the beads. So you want to make sure that, you know, you're cautious with that too. Okay, so now I want to work my way around to this center bead. So this is where we started. This is the 4. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 in the center. I want to go to that bead, the one right in the middle of the 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up through the next 3 beads, down the next 3 beads, up through the next 3 beads. So we're kind of zigzagging our way over, and down through the next 3, and that will put us in place. All right, so we're going to pick up the one that you've chosen if you're using different colors, or just pick up another one if you're not. And again, going through the top delicate bead, let it drop into place. And again, if you're coming out the left side of your bead, which you should be, you're going to go in through the right side of your bead because you're creating that loop. Sorry, I hit my camera again. I don't think I'm going to be winning any Academy Awards for this. But as long as you're learning something, that's cool. That's cool to me. Okay, so going through that delicate bead again, because we're going through it twice. Up and around, so we can secure that one. All right, so that one's secured. So we have a choice. We can go to the top or to the bottom now. I think I'm going to go to the bottom. Okay, so we're going to go, okay, so here's the bead that we're coming out of. And we want to go, you'll see kind of a line from that bead from there to there. Okay, so we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th. So we're going to go through. Get my stuff out of the way here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go down through those 5 beads. And I'm caught on that one at the bottom. There we go. So going through those 5 beads, and we're going to come out of this 6th bead right here. All right, there we are. Yeah, and the same. If you counted over from the last one you put in, you'd see you'd be coming out of the 6th one from that as well. So we're equally away from it. But this is what we've got so far as the and I find that if you take your thread, take the end one and bend it down a bit, that's good. And so we're coming out of the 6th. We're going to pick up our next one, going through the delicate bead at the top to attach it, coming down, and again the same thing. We were coming out of the left side of the bead. So we're going to come around and go through the right one. If you don't remember, you just give it a little pull and you'll see exactly where the thread is coming out of. All right, and again, going through the delica and in through the bead you just came out of. So we're doing that loop around again. And once again, we're going to go up through 5 beads. And if you have to go one at a time or whatever you have to do, then that's fine. So we've got 2 there, 3, 4, 5, and of course I've looped around the other one. There we go. This is the tricky part here, the tricky point, I should say. And okay. And I'm going to pick up another one here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go through, back around through the opposite. Going through the delica and then back through the seed bead. And now we've gone through that twice. Now we're going to work our way up to the top. And this is going to be different than what we've been doing, how we've been counting 5 and going through the 6th. We are actually going to be going up to the 4th one away from the top. So here we go, back up. I'm flipping it around and I'm going back up through the outside seed beads here until we get to the 4th one from the top. So here we go, back up through the edge beads, and we've got the top 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll go up through the 4th. There we go. Up through the 4th and grabbing the one that you've designated for that area. Let it drop down, and once again we're going to go, I'm just going to hold it in place there. We're going to go back through, sorry, I keep hitting the camera, I'm so sorry, and back through the delica. Back up through, and now we've attached that one. Get it onto the front, that would be good. There we go. And now we've attached that one. So I'm going to go through the next 3, and I'm actually going to attach one right to the center top there. So we'll have one on the center top and one on the center bottom. So again, we're going to be going through the 3. Let's see if I can do it so you guys can see. Through the 3 seed beads at the top here. Okay, so there we are. And I'm going to pick up the center top one. Again, put it through the delica. Let it drop down into place on the front. And we're coming out through the right, so I'm going to go out. I'm going to go in through the left. To secure it. And put it through the delica bead as well. There we go. Okay, and going through it one more time through the top seed bead. Again, need the help of my pliers. And down and through. And through that top seed bead again. There we go. That is getting kind of snug. All right, and now we're going to go, excuse me, count down. So there's the top bead. 1, 2, 3, and in through the fourth. And pick up the next one, your next piece, drop it down in. I'm so sorry, I hit the camera again. I've got the camera between me and my work, so sometimes we have technical difficulties, like when I accidentally hit it. Okay, so we're coming out through the right hand side of the bead. We're going to go up and around through the left side. Okay, and that will place it where I want it. There we go. And of course, there we are. I was going to say, of course, I'm getting tangled, but I wasn't actually that time. Or was I? There we go. Okay, so we've got it through there. And we want to go through it again to secure it. So we're going to go through the delica bead, hanging on to all of your components. This is where it gets tricky because you've got all of these components on here now, and you want to make sure that you hang on to everything because it can get a little daunting. So we're going to go through it one more time, if it will allow us. Whoop. So there we go. We've got that secured. Now we're going to go through some of the other beads so that we can tie this all off. So just work your way through it as you would like, and tie it all off. And then I will show you the finishing part of putting the ear hook on. So I've now tied in all of my ends and I have my second earring. And now we're going to be attaching our ear hook. And as I said in the beginning, I have a silver filled ear hook. And we're going to take our ear hook, and you see where the join is there. Well, it's not actually joined, but we bend it out towards ourselves, and all we do is we place the ear wire protector. If I've opened it up enough, no, I have to open it just a little smidge more, so that's fine. Oops. Open it up a little more. There we go. Slippery little sucker. And we're going to attach our wire protector through there, our thread protector, and just close it up. You want to get that as close to the bottom, as close to the base as you can. And there we go. We have the matching fan to the other one. So now we have a pair of fan earrings. I hope you enjoyed watching the tutorial, and I hope you find it helpful. And most of all, I hope you give it a try.